Hello friends. Welcome back to Night Court Narrative. I am Elvish. I hope you guys are doing fantastic. Today, oh my gosh, today, do you guys see something new? Do you see something new? We have a brand new layout. I got really bored, if you will, of the studio, and I wanted to branch out and make something a little bit better out of the podcast, and I just felt like this really spoke to me on a personal level. So this is going to be our brand new studio, I guess. But yeah, today I am bringing you Lightlark by Alex Astor. Now listen, Alex is by far the queen of marketing her books. If you know, you know. This girl is literally all over TikTok sharing every book that she has ever possibly come out with, including the Lightlark series. What was it? Summer in the City. Even the new Barbie one. I am so excited for this Barbie book. You have no idea how crazy I am for that book. She even has a new one called Starside, I believe. I pre-ordered that and I'm so excited for you. You need to get it. I'm apparently excited for you to get it, but I am so overly excited to read all of her books because Summer in the City was absolutely phenomenal. I did give it a 5 out of 5. I loved it so much. But today I am bringing you Lightlark by Alex Astor. So I do have my notes. I had to write notes on this book because I had so many thoughts. So I am going to be looking down, or like it's going to look like I'm reading something because, spoiler, I am. But yeah, so we have Lightlark. We have our female and male main characters. Our female main character is Isla. Our male main characters are Grim and Oro. This book is based on a Centennial. It's basically like a competition where every 100 years all of the realms get together and they have a quote-unquote competition to basically end the curse, and by doing so the prophecy claims that one realm has to, or I guess one realm's ruler has to die in order to break all of the curses. And we have a lot of realms here. We have 6 of them. I'm going to be reading this. I have Wildling, Starling, Moonling, Skyling, Sunling, and Nightshade. Why is Nightshade the only one without Ling? I am very bothered by that information, but you know what? We will survive. Isla is the ruler of Wildling. Grim, he is the ruler of Nightshade. We have Oro, which is Sunling, Azul, which is Skyling, Cleo, which is Moonling, and Celeste, which is Starling. Celeste is my baby, which I have things to say about that in a moment. If you guys know, you know. If you guys don't know, I have things I need to say in a moment, so bear with me. But yeah, Isla, why did I call her Isla? Isla and Celeste, they have been allies for a very long time. They've been best friends almost their entire lives, so they group up together and plan to find this magical artifact called the Bond Breaker. This is strong enough to break any curse if enough blood is sacrificed. Obviously the Centennial, it holds duels, magical demonstrations, political maneuvering. There's a lot of alliances that are formed, but also a lot of alliances that are broken, so that is definitely a thing. We also do learn in the book that the curses are not random. They were created centuries before as part of a larger magical balance tied to the island of Lightlark itself. I do think I also failed to mention that Oro, even though he is the ruler of Sunling, he is also the king of Lightlark. So let's keep that in mind as well. This is where all the main spoilers happen, so I'm gonna give you 5 seconds to back it on up. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Celeste, my baby girl, she is not actually Celeste. She is this cunt of a lady named Aurora, that, you know, takes the quote-unquote bond breaker, which is actually not its name, and she ends up stealing all the power from all 6 realms and all that. And she's bad guy McGee. Turns out she is an ancient ruler of Starling, the one that came up with the whole Centennial bullshit. And you know, she needs help from Isla needs help from Grimm and Oro to break this little curse. So they end up doing so. Aurora gets clapped as always, and yeah, that is basically it. We do learn in the book too that Grimm and Isla had somewhat of a love relationship, and he ended up wiping her memories so that she would intentionally fall in love with Oro, and like Grimm wouldn't be a part of it to like get in the way. My mind is boggled. Anyway, let I need to discuss this. This was crazy. First of all, the world building in this book was phenomenal. When I tell you this book had me hooked from the very first chapter, I was so sucked in to this world. I had no idea what I was doing without this book in my life sooner. The world building is absolutely amazing. The descriptions are fantastic. Each character has their own distinct personality and their own distinct way of talking as far as like their mannerisms or anything like that goes. And I loved that so much. It did feel very much, if I have to, I don't want to compare this book to anything else because I do think this book stands on its own. However, if you guys want like similarity comparisons, this book does give very much ACOTAR. Like if you think of when the High Lords all come together, it's kind of like that. It gives very much like Phantasma. It gives kind of like Fourth Wing vibes as far as like the training and the I want to say obstacles, not obstacles. What are they called? Hold on. I have my paper. Where's my paper? My paper is duels. The word is duels. Yeah, no, I truly loved this book so much. I do think the pacing in this book was done very, very well as well. I didn't find myself at any point in time getting bored or felt like the story was overly drawn out. I do think the pacing was completely validated throughout. There was never a moment where something was too much or even too little. I think it was very well dispersed across the entire book, which is amazing. And if you know me, that's not a compliment I give very often. The descriptions, they were amazing. I loved everything that came from it. I will say, if I do have to give this book a critique, the word prophecy is used an ungodly amount of times, and it literally just reminds me of Bedkim by Sabrina Carpenter. And every time the word prophecy came up, I would start singing the song in my head, and I'm just like, bro, I don't have time for this. Yeah, the word prophecy comes up so much in this book. But yeah, it's very Phantasma Enchantra-esque. There's a lot of dueling, I guess, a lot of learning. Isla obviously believes that she has no powers whatsoever, so going up against the other rulers that do have incredible power, it's a little bit overwhelming in a sense. So we get to see that part of the Centennial from her perspective, seeing how she feels like she is an outsider. Obviously, she has two amazing men that she's falling over. She has Grimm. He is the dark and mysterious guy, obviously ruler of Nightshade. And we have Oro, which is the brighter, more sophisticated king of Lightlark, fix your tie type guy. And they obviously go back and forth, and there seems to be betrayal on both ends. There was a point in the book where even Isla did tell Oro that she was powerless, and fortunately for her, obviously it did work out in the long run, but unfortunately he did betray her trust, and he unveiled her biggest, darkest secret amongst the entire rulership, I guess. And it kind of really hurt. Like, it kind of made me not really, it made me kind of not really like Oro. And I'm not saying that I don't like him, and I never will, but I know book 4, or I guess like 3.5, it's Oro and Grimm and Oro. So it's a very common thing in this series to pick which side you're on, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I believe so far I am a Grimm girly. I didn't like him at first, but you know what, the ending and the way that he spoke of Isla, it definitely gave me the heartwarmy feels, and it was really cute. I do feel like right now, from where I stand, I am halfway through Nightshade, so I am currently in the second book as we speak, but I have yet to finish it. So going off of just what I know so far, I obviously have not read the entire series yet, so I don't know everything. Like, people watching this are probably like, oh my god, just wait. But I feel like Grimm is kind of like the misunderstood one. I do feel like right now he doesn't really get the attention that he deserves, and maybe this is such a canon event, and maybe like I'm so completely wrong, but I do wholeheartedly feel like maybe he is a little bit misunderstood. So I'm definitely up for seeing how that ends up going. I do want to see a little bit more of him, I do think, but no, Celeste. I absolutely fucking love Celeste. Celeste is precious baby number 1. She, as I mentioned originally too, she is Isla's best friend. She is the ruler of Starling, and going into the Centennial, they had to pretend like they didn't know each other, so they even came up, they introduced one another to each other. They had to pretend that they had no recollection of who one another even is, because obviously going in being the two weakest realms, they felt like that would put a massive target on their back, so they definitely did everything they could to keep their alliance at bay. Obviously, Grimm and Oro, being the smarticles that they are, they did catch on to this, and eventually they were told by Isla herself. But we even have some, like Cleo, for example. Cleo is one of the rulers. She is the ruler of Moonling. First of all, her realm is badass. I absolutely loved her realm. They had to go back to her realm maybe 2 to 3 times in the book, and I loved every single one of those chapters because that is such a unique realm. It literally made me feel something deep in my soul, which again brings me back to, I really loved the descriptions in this book, and I love Alex's writing. It's so easy to digest, and I literally mean, like, it's so easy. I really feel like if I had enough time in my day, I could read this entire series in one day and still not have enough. I do really also like the unveiling where we do find out that Celeste actually is not Celeste. She is Aurora, which in Starling, the people, the citizens, I guess, they only live about 25 years anyway, so every 2 decades they Aurora does take on a brand new face to not, I guess, get noticed, and unfortunately she does end up getting Celeste's face this time, and she had kind of an upper hand with killing off Isla's parents, which kind of hurts knowing that at the end. But I really do think that the way that Celeste and Aurora came out at the end, I did not see that coming at all. When I tell you, it was so left field. I felt like I was punched in the gut. I did not see that coming at all. So I really do applaud that, because a lot of books have such over the top anticipated endings where you're not even on chapter 5 and yet you already know how the entire book and sometimes even series ends, and it becomes a little bit drawn out and anticlimactic. But I do really think that this was done so well that I had no idea this was even a thing. Truly, wholeheartedly, 100%, I fucking loved this book. I did give this book a 5 out of 5. I'm not gonna lie to you, this book got like a 7 out of 10 for me. And I don't do out of 10 ratings very often, and if you guys know me, you know that if I ever go above a 5, I am being serious. I absolutely loved this book so much with my entire soul and my entire being. I cannot wait to get to the other books and possibly do a overall video, maybe with all of them at the end, because I do feel like there's a lot that I want to see happen in the series that might happen later on in the books, or there's something that I mentioned in this video, which, like I said, it's probably a canon event, and people who have read the book is probably like, oh man, if only Elvish knew. So I do want to kind of come back and revisit this at a later date, but I can definitely 100% tell you that this book series is going to be a series that I definitely read over and over, because it is without a doubt amazing. And I do think that I would recommend this book to every single person I know. So yes, I think that's really all I have today for this book, because I always do this. If I really love the books, I definitely want you guys to go and check them out as well. So I really want you guys to go read this book. But if you guys have read the book, please let me know what you thought down below. If you hated this book, absolutely, let's discuss it, because I love opinions and I want to know everything that you found wrong with the book. And if you absolutely loved the book like me, I want to hear all about it. Is this book on your TBR? Is the whole series on your TBR? Come on, tell me. I cannot wait to talk about this book with people. Like, this book, there are very few books that live up to my absolute love for, like, ACOTAR, for example, and this book is up there with my ACOTAR love. Like, ACOTAR and Fourth Wing are on pedestals for me, and this book is up there with them. So let that be what it is. And yes, I hope y'all have a fantastic day. Bye, y'all.